So we're telling some stories this afternoon, and there's an amazing poem that is floating around in this area, in this valley. And it's a poem about a witch. This black shirt, these black clothes are very witchy. Danny, whereabouts are you, brother? I hear there's a poem about a witch floating around.
Yeah. Would you kindly join me, my friend? You could even play the flute, I believe.
I'll jump in and out with the flute.
Yeah, I love
that would be great.
Thank you, my man. Cool. So, this is a poem very close to my heart. And it was sparked from the theme, thank you for coming. And that's all. It's just wrapping that up. Cool.
And we welcome the ancestors to support and guide us right now as well.
Yeah, we open that doorway.
Yeah.
Gumnuts gather on a gravelly garden path. The witchy woman waves hello. I've been waiting for you, she states, as always. Winding words with past memories for pattern's sake. There's a knowing smile on her face. She pours water onto her plants. Succulents sucking the sprinkling spray, soaked in the sacred spilling. I approach and splash water upon my face. It's been a long journey, but I always return. A plethora of pine cones pile in a pail. I step over them to enter the cottage. It's the season, she states, as I step over them, staring. Are you hungry? She asks. Again, as always. Always eat what a witch offers. The good fortune pays off threefold. She puts down the herbs that she holds. Trees wrap around on the summery grass plains. Bees tap upon the coloured glass panes. The home is warm, as if held to the witch's bosom. She offers more food while the dinner is cooking. It seems hard for her to ever stop caring. She didn't grow up with this level of nourishment, never knowing nearly enough nutrients by today's standards. She says that vegetables had more substance back then, but still she keeps the cupboards full, always waiting to feed a niece or nephew, a daughter or a son, to emerge in the cabbage patch like in 91, when the coven of witches, this group of red sisters, had their first kids and this family begun. It's an honour to call this witch here my mum. What an honour to be born as your number one. Why haven't I ever put it in a poem? That I don't only remember my first home, but I remember being grown. I remember when my room was within your belly, your womb. An aquatic Aquarian, Aries Piscean, some parts Kuri, some parts European, floating in love with hugs from above. Never ready to leave like when I'm in the tub. This bath's my reprieve, Mum. I didn't ask to be conceived, but I do thank you both for coming. I couldn't just appear here from nothing. So I'm warm, wet, wizardy witchery, and I'll float here for as long as I want. Write poems in my head in different fonts, as my brainstem forms from your stem cells. No language known, but poems write themselves, all born from the void that our souls compelled to connect to deeper. Oh, I long to one day meet ya. Won't you hear me, sleeper? My mother's matriarchal mechanism is magical.
It's Magical.
And connects me to all the mothers that have gone before. Even the All-Mother that birthed the first soul. I'm a baby again in this half-waking state, being held by the feminine spell. I touch into that dreaming place. I fall farther down the well. I'm a seed in the dark black soil, held by the mother. I don't want to emerge from under the cover, but she waters me and I'm forced to grow. There's a peak of a crown from under the ground, and I don't know where to go. But I follow the flow and upwards I grow. And now I know that I know that I know. I don't have to seek or think or wonder. Too much force and there'll be a blunder. Growth is patient, balanced and happening. I worry that we've made it challenging. When we focus on the complex, then all we'll see is the complex. Because from that context, it'll always be true. But if we choose a different lens to see through, we'll see the universe from a bird's eye view. Looking down from above at this witch's brew. Our solar system is a well-stirred stew. And I'm in the kitchen with my creator as she's dusting a fat potato. Who is that girl I saw you in a picture with? She says to me protectively. Not protective of me, but checking to see that I'm not acting misogynistically. Relax, Mum. It's not like that. You know I communicate. Oh, I know you do, Daniel Ben. You won't get past this mother hen. You just make sure you're wise with your powers. Hand me that vase of wildflowers. You walk the path between man and woman and can speak the language of both. But if you're just using that for your cock, it's gross. That's not the human I raised. Please just make sure you behave. She seems shaken as she slowly shuffles the salt shaker. The space is a smoky haze. The scene seems sympathetic. I sit silently, letting her share sink in. Mum love, I begin. Can you see where you're perceiving the women that I have in my life as less powerful or less capable than me? I question with no aggression. That ain't the world I live in, love. Your sympathy just keeps women as victims of men. I know you care, but I ain't here to perpetrate. I ain't here to rescue. I ain't here to play the victim game. Can you trust that we're all on our highest path, collecting jewels from each other's heart, sharing love, but on a different path than the one you witnessed growing up? We're clever fairies, like in your garden. There's nothing that you have to pardon. You're not responsible for any of my behaviours, and you can trust that I'm good to our neighbours. The witch settles then. The guilt subsides. I know, you're right. I just get so worried sometimes about your whole generation. You all seem to be on a different wavelength. Something other than what was on Earth before, like we're of Venus, where we're born. Your dad's from Mars, of that I'm sure. But you, my son, and many, many others, seem to be born somewhere between. She dishes out the roast cuisine of veggies, herbs, garlic and beans, and a cup of tea that helps us have good dreams. Thanks for having me, Mum. I nod towards her. And thank you, Nan, for having this daughter. Mum realises I'm not meaning thanks for having me over. She just smiles a little as I goad her. Magnificent mother of mine, bless this food for us. She smiles at this. Thank you to all the spirit in this food that nourishes our spirit. Thanks to all the cheeky spirits that make such great company. Bon appetit. She shoots a look at me. Let's eat. Grateful to you all. I hope you bless your food, and bless your mums, and bless the people you live with, and feel the closeness. Feel where your golden threads are tied, and how much energy you're putting into them, and how much energy others are putting into that same golden thread. Because it's a reciprocation. It's got to be balanced.
And with that, we close the doors again to our ancestors.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, ancestors.
You've been very busy today, ancestors.
Very busy, we're calling in all the time. So we shut that door. Thank you, everyone.